Okay, welcome. We are at Guernsey Airport and we are currently sat in an A-18 Hornet in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I am not a fighter pilot. I'm not a pilot. I don't know a lot about the Hornet. I have flown them in DCS occasionally, but I'm no expert. But I thought I would show how to start off the Hornet and get it up in the air, because it's actually quite simple and good fun. There's a lot of things that have been left out, of course, because it's a lot more forgiving than more true-to-life simulators. So I think more people could enjoy it. So anyway, let's just have a quick perusal of the exterior, and please excuse any jerky mouse movements, but I should have really put in my Xbox controller to pan around, but she is a very, very remarkable machine, and flies very, very well in this simulator. Right, let's get down to business. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is make sure that our two throttles, left and right, are in the shut-off position, as we want to make sure there's no fuel going through. And there's probably a few other pre-flight checks that you would normally do, but we don't have to do all of that because this is more of a fun simulator. But one thing we do need to do is get our battery on, and lots of things will start whirring to life, which is quite cool. I do like lots of blinking lights. I don't know what most of them do, but they're very pretty. Right, so next we want to find our APU, and it's over here somewhere, I think. Here we are. Pop on the APU. That'll probably take about 30 seconds to fire up, and we're looking for a ready light as well at some point, once that has got itself up and running and is generating enough juice. Right, we could also at this point mess about with our lights here. So our position lights and formation lights, and oh, there's something else down there I can't reach. Oh, is that actually in the off position? Let me check. Oh, it's not. So I said to oh, it's a bit you have to hold down the left mouse button. Oh, there it is. And then press the right to make sure those are completely in shut-off mode. So there's our strobe lights as well. Right, so do we have a green light? Yes, we do. Right, so we're going to turn on our right engine first. So what we need to do is flick the switch, and we're going to check this panel over here, and we're going to wait for it to reach just over 25%, I think. Before we give it a little bit of juice and let the engine kick up properly. So I think this is down. Oh, right, there it is. Right, there we are. So we can see some RPMs. We'll see the temperature increasing as well. Probably be looking for it to get to just under 300 degrees centigrade or Fahrenheit. I'm not sure which one it is actually. Could be Fahrenheit, not sure. So whilst that does its business, we could bring up... There's not a lot you can do with these MFDs. I wonder if we can bring up fuel. Yes, we can. There we are. We'll bring up our fuel. That would be quite handy. We can also play around with our bingo fuel level, and I think we can set heading bugs and things like that. And our backup controls here I think can be set too, but I won't bother too much with all of that. Unfortunately, you can't play with the canopy. There should be a canopy switch here, but you can't mess about with that. Right, so our RPMs are up, so let's give this a little bit of juice. There we go. We've got fuel flowing. Let's have a quick listen outside. Go. That's a very realistic sound apparently for the Hornet. It sounds a lot like DCS as well. Okay, so we're getting above 60, that's good. Temperature looks alright too. Okay, right, so we could also at this point mess around with our cockpit lights, our little floods and things like that. Get that nice and cosy, depending on the environment. So, right, we've got all of that up and going. So now we want to get the other engine going. So, oh god, I can't remember which way around it was. I think it's, there we are. Let's get the left engine going. So we can see some RPMs occurring there. That's good. Let's get outside. Get another angle. I wonder if you can change the pilot to look more realistic, because he should have a pressure suit and helmet and respirator on, really. I'll have to see if there's some way to change that. That would be good. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, let's we're at 25, so let's give it a little bit of juice. There we go. Yep, engine is engaging, fuel is flowing. Let's listen for that to spin up. There we go. Lovely, right, so there's probably a bazillion trillion other things that ought to be done at this time, but for now, going to put on our landing and taxi lights. We're also going to put on our anti-skid and flaps to full. And let's just check who's around us. Right, okay, so this might be a little bit dodgy trying to manoeuvre out of here. So let's see. Now I've got the auto ATC thing going at the moment. That sometimes messes up a little bit, but we'll see what happens. So let's see. Off we go. Just try not to run anybody over. Trying to give it very, very little RPMs at first because this is quite tight. That's got good manoeuvring. Very nice nose wheel steering system. I guess it's all automatic. Well, it's all good so far. We haven't killed anybody. That's always good. Alright, and we're off.
Guernsey ground TINZ Tango India November Zulu 101 request taxi for takeoff straight out departure.
TINZ Tango India November Zulu 101 taxi to and hold short of runway 27 using taxiway Alpha.
What's this guy doing?
Tower on 120.455 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 27 using taxiway Alpha TINZ Tango.
Right, we'll go all the way to the bottom of the runway just to make sure. Probably breaking all the speed limits. Get the left side view. All good so far. No damage caused. No insurance claims, no loss of life. I haven't quite mastered using rudders and brakes yet, toe brakes that is. But I'm slowly getting the hang of it. I do find the flight sim, the MS flight sim rudder response just a little bit twitchy, and I also find trimming quite difficult too. Right, going to get myself to the end and see if my AI assistant gets clearance. If not, I will ask for clearance myself. Right, let's just slow ourselves down a bit, get to a holding position. Okay, wheel brakes on. No, okay, so let's do this ourselves.
Jersey Tower TINZ Tango India November Zulu 101 ready at runway 27 straight out departure.
TINZ Tango India November Zulu 101 altimeter 29.9er2 phoneme alphabet equals X Microsoft UPSPH equals WIHND
goodness.
wind flash phoneme 270 at 7. Departing straight out approved.
That's a cool sign.
Cleared for takeoff runway 27.
Cleared for takeoff runway 27 TINZ Tango India November Zulu 101.
Okay. Off we go. I'm going to get myself lined up at the bottom, apply the wheel brakes, apply some power, hold the wheel brakes for a while, and then let her rip. I wonder why we always call machines, give machines the gender female. I don't know. I've heard it so many times myself. That's probably why I use it. It's more of an it, really, isn't it? Right, let's line up. More juice. Try and get this fairly sweet. Okay, we're ready. Flap set. Okay, so give it some juice. And we're off. Gonna look for about 170 on the knots, or thereabouts. Off we go. Gear up. Flaps up. Powering back a little bit at 300. There we are. We are airborne. And still no loss of life, no damage. It's a miracle, especially with me in the cockpit. But I hope this has shown people that even a muppet like me can operate the Hornet. And sort of role play a little bit with turning it on and taxiing and everything. So do have a go, and happy flying.